What is up, everyone? Happy old year, because tomorrow's the new year. So does that make today no, never mind. I'm not funny. Today we are doing the Booktube Gratitude Tag because 'tis the season. This tag was created by Mare Reads, whose channel I will link. And yeah, I'm grateful for so many people. I'm mostly going to be shouting out people with booktubes, but like everyone who I've met through Booktube here is just great, and I'm grateful for everyone whose buddy read stuff with me. So Joanna, Charmaine in my Discord, Doris, Pete, just everyone. And like David's book reviews and I are buddy reading The Rhythmatist in January, and I'm buddy reading Skyward with my entire Discord, it seems like, in January. So yeah, I'm just thankful for all the people I've met. And yeah, let's get into it. Sorry, my questions are over here, so I'm going to be looking to my left a lot. Which booktuber has the best aesthetic? So for me, as you guys know, I love board games. There are board games up here on this shelf, and there's a ton back there. So anyone with board games in the background, huge fan. Love your channel, love your work. And the first channel I found with board games was Andy Smith's channel. By the way, all these channels will be linked. And it was very funny because, so he had board games, and I'm like, love the board games. And he was drinking whiskey while I was watching him while I was drinking whiskey. So it was like very like Inception, or not Inception, I don't even know the right word, but it was like, are you my twin? Perhaps my brother from a ginger mother? So I was like, yes. But then I found Sorcerer's Apprentice, who actually just objectively has better board games on her shelf than Andy. Every time I watch her channel, I see like these 3 games. I know this is a different version of Azul, but it just does my heart super well, super good. So yeah, and Terraforming Mars, of course, was on my top 10 favorite board games list. And Photosynthesis and Azul, also very good. I love those as well. And I miss board gaming. I want to board game more. Which booktuber has the best editing? So for me, this is Dina at Books Yada Yada. And we kind of do like the same thing where we just, turn on the camera and talk. And sometimes I say weird things and sometimes she says weird things. But the reason her editing is good is she keeps all the weird things and puts them in bloopers at the beginning, which I relate so much to, because I just am babbling, but then I'm like, oh, that was just such a dumb thing to say. I'm just going to cut that out. And my last video where I review a people's history of the United States, what was I trying to pronounce and couldn't just pronounce it all? Sycophantly and patriarchal. I still don't know if that's right. Patriarchal. That I'm pretty sure that's a word, but I feel like I'm saying it slightly wrong, so it's just wrong in my head. And I put those bloopers at the end of that video because I just think it's funny, and I think it's funny when she does it too. It's just, I relate very personal. I talk about not being able to pronounce things while I can't pronounce things. No, I just relate to, how she just does her videos. So I appreciate her editing, even though it's not incredible editing or professional editing or anything. I mean, neither is mine, so it is what it is. Which booktuber do you love watching for their personality? So I've got a few for this one. I wanted to pick 20 for this one, but I've narrowed it down to 3. We've got Abby Salter. And if you're in Shelf Space Discord or you're in my Discord server, the banter between Abby and I is fairly legendary. And I remember Get Right On In was talking in Shelf Space a few days ago, and Abby and I were just having a ridiculous argument about nothing. And he was like, all right, guys, come on. And I'm like, yeah, this has probably gone a little too far. But it wasn't even always like this. I like Abby's videos because she's just a nice, pleasant person. And I remember when I first joined Shelf Space Discord, she was just so nice to me, and I felt very awkward because I didn't really know anyone. And then we had pleasant conversations about books and board games and stuff. And then the trolling didn't even come until later. But when the troll gates opened, you couldn't close the troll gates again. So basically Abby and everyone in my Discord now, their favorite pastime is trolling me, which, understandable. Also, Slowly Read, of course, my boy. He just has a great personality, and he talks about very grimdark books. So it's funny how light and positive his personality can sometimes be. Oh, and also Lyra Bat, who is like a fairly new booktuber. I just like her personality. And she said she used to stream video games. And I'm like, yeah, I see that. She's just got that like chill streamer personality that everyone loves, I think. Who has super original content. So Kayla Lenzen's amazing author series is great. If you guys know me, I usually go into books very blind. I don't know what's going on. So, of course, I don't really know anything about the authors either. But she's like, oh, here's a bunch of information about the authors. It's cool, and it doesn't spoil anything for any of the books. So I'm totally on board. Even if it's like an author that I've never read before, totally on board with it. Also, we've got Jim, Books and Reading and Stuff. He did a video on the 10 Rights of a Reader, which I thought was pretty funny, pretty cool, pretty interesting. And he usually has unique takes, which I do like. Then we've got Red Read Wine, who made a tag, which I did, where you pick characters from fantasy books and then put them onto like a sports team, which I thought was very unique, very cool. I got very into it too. I'm like, if I pick like Obi-Wan for like center back, then I can't pick Han Solo for center forward or Yoda for coach, because there was a rule where you could only have one character from every on your team. So yeah, there was like extra strategy, and I'm like, all right, Dalinar, Kaladin, or Shallan, which one's on my team? Who has the best reading vlogs? I'm gonna be honest, I don't watch reading vlogs too often. Maybe Jessie from The Bookish Mom, because she just like takes you into her life. And I don't know why I don't watch reading vlogs too often. Oh, you know what? Alan from Library of Alexandria, he did the reading vlogs for A Court of Thorn and Roses. So funny. I just died laughing. Oh, and one more for vlogs. Potato Brarian is phenomenal. Even though she doesn't really do vlogs, it's more just like, hey, I'm going to turn the camera on and talk as well. And I'm going to talk about like cooking and like video games and whatever. And I'm just like, yeah, this is great. Who is the funniest booktuber that you watch? So Alan's funny. I was going to say Alan for this one. But there's like different types of funny, right? So Kate from Love Story, absolutely, without a doubt, gives me the funniest shout-outs in her videos, bar none. Because there'll be like an inside joke where like Abby and I get into like a ridiculous disagreement and my name gets changed to Benedict. And then she'll like a few days later give me a shout out. And she's like very like genuine about it. She's like, yeah, and I don't know if his name is Benedict or Gregory LaPerche. Either way, like his content. I'm just like, and then she's also called me Grandpa Benedict. Oh my gosh. It's just so funny. I don't know. I just love everyone in my Discord. Who is the best reviewer? Someone who will talk about a book and you will automatically add it to your TBR even if you don't read from that genre. I feel like Alicia Guzman fits this category well, even though I have yet to pick up a book based on her recommendation. But I feel like when she talks about a book, I'm like, you know what? You've convinced me. I had no idea what this book was going into this video. I'm totally on board. I'll check out a copy of this book, and I feel like I'll like it, even though it's from like a random genre. Oh, and Carl Emmerich. He's kind of like me in that we both kind of like read books and talk about like more political stuff and things that are happening in the world. And I'm like, yeah, I gotta read Nelson Mandela's autobiography at some point. And he's like, oh, you mean this this isn't Nelson Mandela's autobiography, but he just like pulled it out of thin air. And I'm like, yes, that's the one. Maybe I should have picked Carl for this next question. Which booktuber has reading taste that aligns with yours? So yeah, maybe Carl or maybe Elliot Brooks. Elliot Brooks is like one of the YouTubers I've been watching the longest, or booktubers, I should say. And yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's not even like, oh, like you gave this book 4 stars, I gave this book 4 stars. It's not really like that. It's more like we both read the same book and we like have like the same or similar takeaways from it. And this happened in the Sword of Kaigen live show. And Elliot sees my comment and she's like, yes, that. I totally agree.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree with that.
Because it was like what she said in like just like less words and less details. And yeah, that's just how I feel when listening to Elliot talk. So yeah, that's all the questions. And there's so many people to name and talk about. I enjoy everyone's content, and I'm sure I missed like 20 people. Oh, also, for just comedy, I will say Jessie May might be the funniest person to watch react to something funny. Like, I remember when I first joined Shelf Space Discord, it was around my birthday, and one of my real life friends gave me a block of wood wrapped, and I picked it up, and oh my god, my friends are such trolls. I knew immediately. I'm like, this is a block of wood. But yeah, I'm like, this is a hilarious story. I should use it as an icebreaker in this random Discord that I just joined. And Jessie's like, this is the funniest thing I've ever heard. And then during the Shelf Space Discord live show for Sword of Kaigen last month, and like Jessie May and Elliot Brooks are having like a very serious conversation about like publishing or whatever, and like self-publishing. I was like, being a huge troll in the comments section, and I was arguing about who would win in a duel between Jessie and Elliot, and they weren't looking at the chat for like a minute. And then Jessie finally looks at the chat again, and just her reacting to my trolling was just hilarious. Like, if I could have one person follow me around all day and laugh at my jokes, it might be Jessie. So yeah, that is everything. Like, comment, subscribe, join my Discord, and see you guys next time.
Okay, they're talking about who would win in a duel, you or me. First of all, no, we would not duel. Okay. Oh, okay. I was going to say we would never duel.
I'm over here like, break it up.
Just
not, guys. She's not more violent. I feel like it's a contrast to her sweetness that makes her seem that way.